Alrighty, we are back for episode 45. And unfortunately, in the last episode, we're down one. Chad died, and we have, at least for now, captured High Lord Phoenix. Bit of interesting stuff going on. We're not really doing so well health-wise. We're not, but hey, tab is working. It's not going to Chad's dead body, so that was fixed in a reload. Rip Chad. We still need to do a lot of looting. We still need to wipe out this whole section of the city. We still need to wipe out this whole section of the city. We still haven't taken out this actual throne room. There's still lots of enemy paladins and whatnot running around. We're not, like, out of the woods. A lot of people are hurt. Good news is we do have some stored space on some of our pack animals. So, it's not too crazy yet. And yeah, we still need to loot a lot of these guys. I think I looted most of this crowd, but I haven't looted everyone yet. That's for sure. I think I looted most of these guys. I think this guy is still stuck over here for some reason. Green is not doing so well. He's on reins, but that doesn't really matter. Let's see, any of these guys still have a weapon? Hello. Question is, do we loot now and heal a bit and then go out and start killing people? Or do we get out of here now? I think I had Sylveon and Achilles doing a lot of looting. Sure. Nah. I think we should probably do at least a certain amount of looting. Because so many people are low on health. We are just not doing anything. Anywho, 2 swords are going for sale today, with, well, more than 2, but 2 that are interesting because, what are you doing, Achilles? What are you doing, Achilles? Okay, you need to run back, trade with Flareon. Okay, you need to run back, trade with Eevee? Yes. Don't use this garbage. Just don't use it. This is their garbage. Use your really good quality stuff. Okay, it still glitzed a little bit. It's not as bad as it has been in the past. Alrighty. You come here, you come here. that all of them? Maybe? Maybe. Alright. That's a problem. Alright, YouTube. Anywho, so there's a lot today. I have 2 swords, and both of them are uh, World War II era, or briefly before World War II era, and probably ended up getting used in World War II anyway. Uh, Either Nazi Germany or Weimar Republic. So the Weimar Republic was set up after World War One. It was so they took away the kingdom that looks like, yeah, and it is essentially the quote-unquote solution of the German Empire is to reform it into a Weimar Republic, which is the new government, and give it all this debt to pay for World War One. So hopefully they'll be weaker for a while, and then, you know, they can all recover, but not Nazi Germany, the Weimar Germany. What was, German Empire Germany would be harder to recover and give the other countries time to recover. And like, this isn't like on paper, but this is like what the actual plan was just like, hey, if we give them all this debt, A, that helps us recover because the debt is to us to roll reparations. B, that gives us a chance to recover faster than they can recover, which puts us at an advantage, and then hopefully they won't be a threat again, right? Because we'll get ahead, we'll be able to fix ourselves up quicker than they can fix themselves up, and yeah, that historically hasn't really turned out great, in a long time. People have tried it. Doesn't really work that great. It usually ends up with that company having a mass amount of debt, falling apart, and then turning to some radical solution because they're desperate, which is exactly what happened. People need to understand why Nazi Germany happened. They were so fucking desperate they would have taken, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have a solution, they're going, okay, you're going to literally say, like, people are starving to death, the money's worthless, like, the whole economy is destroyed, like, massive amounts of population are dead from the war, massive amounts of infrastructure are destroyed from the war. Like, if you have a solution, it doesn't matter what people say. Maybe, oh, this guy hates the Jews. Well, you know what? He's not perfect, but uh, we're dying over here, and he can maybe help us. So that's sort of like the context of these people are super desperate, which is a very useful context to understand that, modern day look over in the Middle East and what's going on. And we seem to have not learned our lesson, and, a lot of people over there were desperate, and then here come all these, super religious, crazy people who want to do all this, stuff and kill lots of people. But the people are desperate, so they'll listen to them because they don't have a choice, because they're desperate. Like, learn your lesson, you old man. So, we screwed the poops again. Surprise, surprise. But, that's sort of like where it was coming from. Is they were desperate enough to trust someone they shouldn't trust. Which, that never turned out well. But that's life. Like, when you're starving to death, you don't get to be choosy on who you ask for food, or help, or aid, or whatever. You know? So, anywho, now the big problem. one of the few people, or not people, one of the few groups of people who came out pretty well from all this, surprisingly, was South America, because they didn't get involved at all. And meanwhile, because Germany was forced to disarm, one of the things they tried to do was sell all their weapons and armor. Well, say armor, they didn't have that much armor. You know, weapons, uniforms, whatever, ammunition, MREs, flashlights, you know, whatever. All this military supplies that they now had to get rid of, like surplus. And South America was getting all of its military supplies, at least most of it, from Europe at the time. And when the war happened, and the war got, like the Great War, World War One, and that got over, South America got to buy up all this cheap surplus and came out like bandits, which was good for them. And it did help a little bit with repaying stuff. But as a result, you see a lot of World War One stamped stuff from in South America, which is like, and furthermore, once they ran out of their stuff, they just kept using it, and like they either ordered more or made more, and so it became sort of like the de facto like preferred partner to get this stuff, because you know, well, we already know it's good, we already are used to using it, we already have a lot of people who have it, so why not, right? And 1 second. So that was a sort of interesting thing that came out of this. Anywho, so you got the Weimar Republic, and the Weimar Republic is very weak government. It had some pros, it had some cons. It wasn't a very strong government. That was one of probably the biggest cons. It didn't have, part of that was it just didn't have money, which, you know, you kind of need that. You know, just a little bit. It helps. So they didn't do so well. They tried. They tried. They did their best. Anywho, there was some problems. There was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff. It didn't turn out very well. The money went to nothing value-wise. They did try to follow, you know, the war reparations and keep their side of the quote-unquote deal, which was more of a like, you're doing this whether you want to or not type deal. And it was really bad. They were extremely unpopular because it's like, of course they are. Like, they're not an elected government. They're the government set up by this other thing, and then eventually some people started to get replaced, but it wasn't super popular. So Nazi Germany came along. It's one of the, so it was the early days. It's a very interesting because like one of the like first 10 guys to join was a guy who was sent by Weimar Germany to investigate this new Nazi party, which was at the time like less than 10 members. And that guy was, you know, investigating these new young radicals, and he's like, huh, you know what? That seems like a good idea, and he joins them. And this guy is famously the guy accredited with maybe, well, he just, so this is where it gets complicated. So he was a Nazi. People, you know, people have some strong opinions of that. He was ordered by Hitler to destroy Paris. He did not destroy Paris. Some people say he is the savior of Paris. Some people say he's a fucking Nazi. It doesn't matter if he tried to, whatever. He's a Nazi. So, you know, very strong opinions on that. I'm not gonna get into that. But, like, that was the thing. And he was one of the... Wait, actually, not that... Is that the same guy? That might be a different guy. To the guy who investigated. I can't remember. Anywho, uh, so a lot of the early models of the Weimar swords were based on the World War I models, so they didn't really do a lot of changes. There were swords made before World War One that were used or kept in armory in World War One that were kept after the initial stuff happened, and they lost the war, and ended up either being used or kept in armory or whatever. At least, at least the example survived all the way up to World War Two, which is interesting. Where are they going? They're gonna go take out that guy. Ooh, you piece of shit. How about you get fucked? How about you get fucked? Alright, we need to heal a bit. Looks like there's somebody over here I don't see who maybe followed us. Maybe not. That guy has a sword. He's gonna get up eventually. Go get that. That guy might have one. That guy definitely does. Uh, he'll get here eventually. You're a paladin. Hey, nope, that's a sentinel. Aw. So I'm seeing some guys with swords that look like they're new. Weren't here a minute ago. Where did you come from? I don't know. Anywho. So, models very, very similar. If you look at, like, what essentially the dovetail or this one description, or like a D guard or stirrup hilt is another description of it. The basic German saber of you have a single bar that's like you have it's one piece. You have your quillion, then it goes across the top of basically like a cross guard, and then it makes a right angle and it comes down, usually curves in some sort of manner and connects to the pommel, which is usually also the backstrap. All right, so that's a basic design. It's pretty similar. There's a lot of variations of it. For instance, in Austria, you see a lot where the uh, the guard gets wider towards the bottom half of the D guard section or dovetail section. That's pretty common, and there's reasons for that. So if you're holding the sword up high, right, and someone swings at your hand, they can't hit your hand from that angle if you're pointing it at you, because unless the sword is coming like at a very weird angle because of how the angles intersect. It's it's very good for defense. You need to die, and you have a sword, which is concerning. Alright, come over here. Where are you? You're up here. You should be down here. Let's send you. Go get Jolteon. And you, is that the guy? Did he glitch over here, or is that him on the floor? That's him on the floor. App, get, do your job. Your job is to recover Jolteon, who's probably pretty hungry at this point. Alright, so what we're about to do is somewhat risky. We're going to go into the throne room. Anyone still in here is going to be a High Paladin or the Emperor's personal guard, Protector of a Flame, and somewhat difficult to beat in combat. Order, order, no you. Yeah, these guys are, like, scary. Okay, now that guy's armed. Some would say a bit literally. Ha ha ha. And now what? What is there here to loot? Do we move to looting? I guess we move to looting. They do have a pretty decent armor here. Pick. 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 Alright, what else is there to loot? Any containers that are locked? I don't think so. Alrighty. Missed one. Unlock that one. That's two. Okay, who has a lot of empty space? Sylvian and the Sylvian. Alright. Anywho, so you got the Weimar Republic. They're running around doing stuff. They're not very popular. They, like, if you read about, like, the currency valuations and stuff like that, it's like a nightmare. Like, it is insane. Like, this is some of the worst inflation ever. Although I'm sure someone out there is like, we can do better. I take that as a challenge. Um, let's see. Anywho, one of these got up, and he got down. So these swords are very similar to what you see in World War One. German silver, which is a combination of zinc, copper, and so brass and was it? It wasn't tin. It was nickel. Nickel, yes, and nickel, and it's sort of like a poor man's chrome. This it's not chrome. It's very similar to chrome. It's got some negatives compared to chrome. Chrome is better at staying on, which is sort of like why chrome got really popular. And you've probably never seen German silver if you don't work in antiques. Chrome sort of replaced it. It's easier to scratch the nickel plating off, which is somewhat of a big deal. Grog. Alright, so go trade with Flareon. Because, you know, if you scratch off the important stuff, people aren't going to be happy. And the pros and cons, basically, okay, you have this stuff, you can put it on your whatever, and it means your steel doesn't get rusty, right? Which is valuable. The big con, like the really big con, is it can scratch off. Uh, and then chrome came around, it's more scratch resistant, and that sort of became like the thing. I don't have a shit ton of food they can dump. No. I'm nothing more like 2 or 3. I'm tired. Okay, who has carried? Yes. Okay, grab the bread. Bread. Meat. Alright. I did it, so it's all those things. Okay, come towards this one. So, it's useful. It's, in my opinion, looks better. It looks less like mirror-y and more silver-like. Hence the name German silver. Uh, it does tarnish, but it's very easy to polish. Uh, it's very easy to scratch off too. So you gotta be like really gentle. Um, you can't use anything at all abrasive. Like even like what you would use to like clean your dishes. The super mild abrasive. It's like this won't scratch my ceramic made in China, whatever. That's gonna be too abrasive probably. Um, the go-to I use is autosol, which works, and I use like a very tiny amount, like a grain of, you know, rice amount, and I'll put a little bit of that on like some paper towel or shop towel, and I'll just polish it by hand for a very long time, like, and then wipe down with oil. Sometimes you can just use oil and cloth, and that's it. Um, you don't want to use any power tools. You don't want to use anything too abrasive. You want to be gentle. Oh, dude, this guy. He is like a beast. He is a beast. He's got, let's see, dude, this guy, he's got 98 strength. Uh, yeah, you know what? We're not going to take anyone from the Holy Nation. They all die. It has been decided. We're here to massacre them this day. Attack all, hold off. We are here to massacre. We are not here to take prisoners. We take one prisoner, but only because he's going to be killed later. Have we killed everyone here? No, we have not. Loot, loot, loot. Sure. We do not want him to have meds, because then he can maybe survive. Pick lock. Anywho. So, German silver, which it is one of the things that left me think, okay, it's fairly early. It's not, you know, middle of World War II. It's not World War II yet. Eventually they do switch over to chrome, because chrome has more wear resist. But German silver was like the classic. Weimar is a good option. It's they use Bakelite or Bakerite, or I'm not sure how to say it. It's a early plastic, like super early plastic. There's not much to say. It's black. It works. It's plastic. It's, if you have any, a good possibility would be you have some on your cooking ware. It was used a lot in like pots and pans for the handles. Because like it's pretty durable. It does melt when it gets hot, so that could be a problem for cooking specific. Come on, game. What's inventory? Game being not responsive during a save. That's annoying. Alright. Achilles. Sure. Loot these. What else? Wire grip, pretty standard. Brass wire. Sometimes you'll see silver wire on nicer examples, but you know, there's not that many nice examples from this time period. If you look at a World War One era one, and you look at a non-World War One era one, you can see the difference. But it's something that's like very difficult to put into like words. It's very hard to sit down and be like, yes, this is the difference, because like so much of it's aesthetic, you know. Like, how do you describe the difference between two paintings without using words? I mean, without using images. It's like kind of hard. It's kind of hard. You know, pick up Sylvian again. I don't want to get stuck in the building. Don't want water. Hell no. Did I lose that one? I did lose that one. Fuel chainmail. Alright. This here. Actually, don't like. I'm thinking. Darn. And I dropped them. Whatever. You come get the electrical components. And I think we're done with this building. You know, I looted this one. I don't think I looted these two very well. I might have done some like cursory stuff. I definitely didn't get everything. Oh, fucking starving bandits just walking in. Like, what is this? The literal fucking capital of the Holy Nation, and the fucking bandits is walking right into the main plaza. Well, Holy Nation's fucking dead. Alrighty. Okay, what do we have to pick? We got that building thing. Whatever. Worth the heart. We've got probably stuff over here. Or not. Okay, we got save. And this one. Looks like that's the only one. Alright. You. Leather. Oh, fuck. Bot. Leather. And splints. That's good. Good. Empty. Sure, I'll take a stick. I like some sticks. Let's see. Anywho. So, that's going on. History gets pretty interesting for a while. And they start changing some of the models. And most of the stuff, other than like World War II stuff, I don't really like it. Like, it's mostly no longer the age of the sword. Sword use is extremely rare. There's like a case of this British dude who was amazing, and he used a longbow, and there's a tons of photos of him like storming the beaches of Normandy with his fucking cutlass. You know, the cutlass. He's got a Model 1828 Highland Officers British Scottish claymore or broadsword. So basket-hilted claymore, right? He's a British officer, but Scotland as part of Britain had their own sword models, including the model 1828 or pattern. So over here in the States, we use the word model. Over there, they'd use the word pattern. I don't like calling it a pattern. I prefer to call it a model. But the technically, like, pedantic, if you want, way to say it would be pattern, but I'm not that pedantic. Like, I'm pedantic, but that feels like too pedantic using the word uh, pattern instead of model. Just a bit. But that's just, I'm just a dumbass bug. I don't know. I feel it's a little bit too pedantic, but maybe you don't. But that is the most correct way to say it. Um, Apparently I just, oh yeah, because I was moving it over here, and it counted right-clicking and right-clicks and activate. Okay. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Um, I want something that's 3. I want something that's 3 wide by 2. Alright. That gives me 4 by 4s. Which is useful for a lot of things. Alright. Okay. Anywho. So that's this one guy who's this like epic. And I don't know of any cases of him actually using the sword in combat. I have read of him using the bow quite a bit, and especially at night, because essentially silencers basically don't exist. There's a well rod, it's a pistol, it's a single shot pistol. You have to like take the fucking gun apart to fire, and it's not silent. Silencers don't make it silent, it makes it more quiet. It makes it less loud. It doesn't make it silent. A bow, from a far enough distance, you hear nothing other than the sound of it moving through the air. And in the night, at dark, you can't really use that to determine where you're being shot at. So a longbow, which can kill from very far away, like I think I've read lots of different stuff on what is the optimal distance and how far it could kill, but a lot of it's also using, like, assuming you have at least a certain level of armor and not, it's World War II, and I have like a helmet and nothing else other than maybe a bulky jacket, maybe if it's winter, but not for summer, of course, because I don't want to fucking die of heat stroke. You know what I mean? Like, Um, it's difficult to. I'm not sure if the effective range translates quite so well if you take away, armor, but you know, at least 500 meters is a safe bet. I've heard some people saying 800 or past 800 meters or 1,000 meters, but I'm not a longbow specialist, but definitely 500 meters is like very easy kill for a longbow, like a proper British 100-pound or so longbow. Some of them were below that, some of them were much higher. 120 isn't unusual, but like also this is something you would spend a fair amount of time learning how to use, and this would literally warp the bones of your body. You can look at skeletons from like 1,000 years ago and tell whether they used a longbow or not, because the bones themselves are warped from using it. That is how crazy this is. Uh, you know, I mean, it's something. So we really know, like, from skeletons and nothing else, you can tell exactly when the longbow was used, like, because it's crazy. And it does take quite a bit of time to, like, you're not going to be using the longbow out, like, just pick it up one day and like a few months later you're using it proficiently at like a full weight, draw weight longbow. It does, you know, take a bit, but it is kind of insane. And that is why, you know, when they have all these longbow tournaments to incentivize the peasants to learn how to use this and to train their muscles to use this, so that in times of war they could use it, and in times of peace they could win tons of money if they're good enough at using the longbow. Plus, you know, hey, you can hunt with it, you can, you know, poach with it, because most hunting was poaching at the time. I should probably go kill that guy. If the wolf doesn't attack me, I won't attack him. But I will attack this guy. Okay. So you see how he moves forward when he attacks? He probably moved forward to attack to get up there. And now Sad Nail's hurt and no one else can help. He literally glitzed up there. And getting him down could be a problem. We got some people here. We got this guy. You missed Sad Neil. You got hit, Sad Neil. He got hit too. He's going down. Alright. Pseudo. Take his sword. Take his armor. He doesn't need that no more. Heal up. These guys are going after somebody else. I'm gonna say, screw that right now. Come over here, go to hold. Everyone come over here. Bombing him, you'll do. Come over here. Pick up. No. Okay, you got out. Pick up. Go down. Can I not pick you up? Pick up. Down. How about hops? You're moving a bit faster. Are you carrying someone, Looking Glass? You are. Pick up. Put down. Kaguya, go pick him up. Alright. They probably tested, could you get up here, before they put the tree. And then they put a tree and we're like, hey, you can walk around this space, and you can walk around. It's just very hard. Put down. Or maybe they tested it working fine, and then they messed with the word. How easy it, like how much they push off from an object they can't walk through, to try to deal with people going through walls, and they turned it up a bit, and then whoops, we forgot to check this place. Hold off. Kill that guy, kill that guy. Somebody up here, he needs to die too. Alright. Who's someone who has carry weight? You do. Alright, so why monsters? Very interesting. That the other interesting model is a dagger. So there was a dagger. It was used by the SS. It was used by a few other groups, and it's based off of a 16th century Swiss bacillard, which is a type of dagger that's pretty cool looking, and it's historical. It was used that your everyday stab guy with dagger. It's like nothing too special, nothing too crazy. It's a dagger, right? And it's as far as I know, the last military use of the bacillard, which is about 400 or 500 years of use. Even though in reality it was mostly not used. What else? I really don't like any of the standard infantry or artillery, or especially the SS swords, like the straight ones. Oh, they're horrible. It's very clearly made to be aesthetic. It's a sword not designed by people who make swords, but designed by people who design clothes to essentially be clothes, to be part of a uniform, to look fancy. Hello. We are here to kill everyone. Take away his weapons and his backpack. Take away his weapon. I think you misunderstand, game. I'm not trying to hide the fact that I'm taking his stuff. In fact, I hope they get up and fight me, because then I can put them down again, do even more damage, make sure they never get up. This is all according to plan. All going to plan. Alright. Kang, how you doing? You're doing great. Anywho, probably the most interesting of all the swords that that Germany used by that period was their naval saber, because it's essentially identical to what they've been using for like a very long time at this point. And it's somewhat ironically based off the British naval saber of the 1837 or 27, one of those two. I know the French one's 37. I can't remember if the British one is 27 or 37. I'm blanking. I could look it up in one of my books, or just Google it. But it doesn't really matter. It's just simple brass guard, line, pommel. Okay, not that simple, but it's a pretty simple guard, as sword guards go. Like, I've seen some very crazy guards. This is not a very crazy guard. You have a blade. The original blade would often have a pipe back, and then at some point they're like, we're not so sure about the pipe back. It's good at stabbing. It's not as good at creating deep cuts as some other blades. It can create deep cuts. And it's best when it's a certain thickness, around 1 3/8 inch or more, preferably more. Some of the better ones I've seen were around 1.5. I've seen ones that are 2 or past 2. Quite broad, and I like them, but they do give up some cutting capacity for stiffness. Like, everything's a trade-off. That's a trade-off they make. They wanted something that was better at cutting and still good at thrusting, and they went with a single fuller design. Um, it is so the edges of the pipe backs were better for a thin cut, and the edges of the single fold design was sort of better for a deeper cut. And all in all, it's hard to say which one is better without extensive testing, which I haven't done. So the jury is out on that, and I don't know who has actually gotten like either very good replicas or antique examples and did all the testing. I don't know if anyone actually has. Hey, Peep is back up. Alright. You're in a coma, you're in a coma. So, Kill is back up, he's got 11 on his stomach. I'm gonna keep him down. Beep's at 19. And we've mostly killed everyone at this point. I think he can run around and do some looting. No, thank you. I guess was 280. Nope. Alrighty. Anywho, that's the the Navy sword. It's an interesting one. I like it. They are worth a lot of money, and the reason they're worth a lot of money is the model is a very old style model. So people who like the older style models, which is like a lot of collectors, a lot of people. So there are two types of people who collect German swords. There are the people who like the old stuff, the older stuff, pre-World War, II, and they tend to be more interested in the sword itself than the history, although sometimes they just prefer that period of history. Because, like, they're like, hey, this sword is a cool sword. They like the swords. And then there's the people who like the World War II stuff, and they tend to be more interested in the history of it. That's not necessarily saying like, oh, this guy collected a Nazi sword, therefore he's a Nazi. That's kind of stupid. Well, maybe that's a bit harsh. That is ignorant. How about that? That less harsh? That less of a dick thing to say? Maybe. It's a little bit ignorant. There's more than one reason to find interest in something. Yeah, we're all on the same page there, and people can look at the history and be like, okay, this major event in history helped shape the world, and I'm interested in it. Not necessarily because I'm a Nazi, but for some reason, a lot of people, whenever they say, oh, you collect World War II stuff, therefore you must be a Nazi. It's like, what? Not really a lot of people. Some people are like that, and it's kind of silly. At least, and I do not understand something, therefore you must be a Nazi. It's sort of like, what? What? It's like, if you don't understand it, you don't understand it. There's other explanations, and therefore you must be a Nazi. But whatever, let people believe what they'll believe. But it doesn't really matter what they believe, But no, not everyone who collects that stuff is a Nazi. Although I've heard people say that. And I've heard people say that to me, and it's like, I don't even collect, the World War II stuff. I have one thing, I think. One? Let's look. Let me actually look at I have so many swords. I think one thing that's from that period that might have been. It's a Weimar, it's an older style. The brass guard NCO stuff is probably Weimar. It's maybe World War One. Probably Weimar. They did use basically identical ones in World War One, but it wasn't very popular in World War One. So it could be either. So at most, one sword used by Nazi Germany. At most. I do have a sword that's almost definitely used by Imperial Japan. Imperial Japan, not a fan. Not really okay with, you know, that sort of stuff. But you know what? They had some really cool swords. As a sword collector, you know, I like that. I like that they had some interesting sword models. They had, I'm probably never gonna be able to get one of these. They're expensive, but they have the one and only stainless steel hardened sword used by a military in the whole world ever. The Navy Kaigunto. Uh, so you had Shinguntos and you had Kaiguntos, and my Japanese is garbage. And Kai, I believe, means Navy, but I'm not 100% positive on that. My Japanese is garbage. Like, konnichiwa, watashi wa oname, Frederick Nietzsche des, kampanwa, good evening, or, you know, ohayou gozaimasu, good morning, I don't know. Like, not good, not horrible, but like kindergartner grade stuff. Like, I'm not going to shine the turd too much. Kindergartner grade stuff. Uh, Not great. Reading is horrible. Like, I can make out like a few sounds. You know what I mean? There's very few words. So don't quote me on Japanese pronunciation or Japanese translations. Just please. Unarmed. Ooh. I don't even food, yes. Okay. So we got fabrics, bread, meat, more meat, tools. And that's it for this place. Anywho, so that model, fascinating. They did a process involving. Oh, you're back up. You are Holy Nation. Attack. Of all the phoenixes, you weren't my favorite. You know, I wasn't going to do anything, and then you went hostile. Then you pulled out the sword. And my decision was made for me. Alright. So, grab that. Ooh. That's actually worth decent money. I guess I should grab some boots, because I'm going to get a new person soon. So, when you turn in High Lord Phoenix to Esata the Stone, Esata's daughter will join you. If you have a free slot, which I do. I have 256 mod. I have lots of free slots. I can carry a bit more. Alright, tools, gears, armor plating is valuable. Gears. Gears, like, if you really wanted to optimize, like, weight, you could forget the gears. Hmm. Hmm. Um. Hmm. 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 Huh. That's not going to fit, but gives me a little more space. Uh, a lot of vertical space for, like, say, a fish, but that doesn't really buy me anything. This could fit. Yeah. Okay, that's probably optimized. Good as it's gonna get. Grab the vegetables. Switch the green. Hey, green. Your new job is should you choose to accept it, because yeah, carry stuff. Steel bars. Fuel. That's kind of garbage. But you know what? It's free. All I had to do was kill one guy. Anyway, Navy Saber, Germany, pretty cool. Not very chains, very similar to the British one, often confused. Very similar to the Swedish one, often confused. Well, one of the Swedish ones. Very similar to some of the South American ones. Very similar to the British one. Very similar to because Britain, all of the British, colonies, of which there are many, like you could see similar ones being used in like New Zealand or Australia or Canada or wherever, like all sorts of places. Uh, Very similar to ones. Let's see, where else did he use those? I think Belgium or the Dutch or Netherlands. I get those places confused. Because at some points of history it was one place, and some points it's not one place, and people get very upset when you use the wrong one, and I can never keep them straight because I don't really care. The gasp. I said it. I don't care. Okay, but seriously, it's like that part of the world. There's not a whole lot of interesting stuff going on. I mean, there is during some portions of it, but not all of it. Alright, so we're gonna just grab everything. Good. Alright. This would be another one over here. We're gonna have Jolteon come over here, and we want to loot that one, and then go to Jolteon. We already got most of the stuff here, so it'll stack. That won't stack, but this will. And someone else will have to grab the backpack. You. Wait, no, you're fucked up. You? Yes, YouTube downloader. Come here, grab that backpack. That's not too bad. We go kill some more people. Whoever died down here, was that is another pack animal. Alright. So, Jolteon. Jolteon. Alright. What's very interesting about that part of the world is some of the history during the period where they were running like the East India Trading Company stuff. Well, Dutch East India Trading Company stuff, which is not the same as the normal East India Trading Company stuff, but sometimes it is because they have the whole William of Orange thing. So he's like ruler of both, and then there's some like intertwinedness between the different organizations, and one of them went bankrupt in 1800, the other one lasted into the 19th century, so it's like complicated, and I don't have all the answers. I need to do more research into that, but it is unquestionably interesting. Like it's cool. There's stuff happening, and important stuff happening, and important stuff that like changed the world. And I don't have it all memorized, unfortunately. I have some of it memorized, but not all of it. And that's a very interesting thing to study if if you're into that sort of stuff. I'll have you. Who has Sylvian? Bring Sylvian over here. So, mostly fighting, there's some guys over here. These guys are just hanging out on the roof now. Whoever has Sylvian... So, I need Achilles to loot that thing. And go Sylvian. Alright. So I don't think a lot of these people I need to worry about. Mostly there's people on this roof we took out. And then some people on the first floor we took out. And then some people over here we took out. That's this servant. Alright. And there's someone on the wall, but that guy probably doesn't have a sword. And there's this random civvy we can ignore. Alright. I'm just gonna go to hold, come over here. They come to me. Or not. Let them get away. Guy has no weapon. He's missing half his armor. He's beat up. He's chasing 50 plus people to attack them with his bare hands. Oh, he's got one friend. Okay. Grab that. Join the others. Sometimes with the AI was a little bit smarter. That's a little bit. When it comes to like, choose your battles. Don't fight unwinnable battles. 9 entry. They do that a lot. I think I've looted this one. I think I finished looting this one. Let's check over here. Yeah, I finished looting this one. Did I finish looting these two? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I need to. Wait, I gotta unlock that one. And that one. Anything upstairs? No? Yes. Alrighty. You'll do. Anywho. One other interesting sword from that period besides the Japanese one is, well, slightly different period. So, they also invented something else kind of crazy. So, it mostly came about during the Russo-Japanese War, which is like pre-World War One, sort of like World War One, the prequel, where Japan and Russia duked it out, and that was where Japan was like, we're going to do bayonet charges, and it's going to work. And everyone else was like, no, it's not. And it worked. It worked. And it mostly worked because Russia's army was garbage at the time. No offense to anyone, but like, let's games listen a bit. Let's be honest here. Like, if people are charging you with bayonets and it's working, something is wrong. Something was wrong. Fine. And that something was basically their army was not very good. Which, hey, they were in the middle of like basically a civil war, or about to be in the middle of a civil war, and then they went through the whole like communist thing. Like, they had reason to have a garbage army. Like, they weren't doing well. Alright. Move this way a bit. It's steel bars, armor plating, leather, steel bars, gears. I think that's it from the first floor at least. But Yeah, they're having some technical difficulties. They weren't doing so hot right now, and that's life. It sucks sometimes. Sorry. Um, think it'd be better if I did this, right? Now if you do that, get to use some more room, do other unusual shape stuff. Alright. Not perfect, but probably not going to get better. Don't know how I'm going to fix that, or if I can fix that. Alright. Anywho, so Japan came up with this great idea of like, we have all these people who know how to use katanas, but everyone in the rest of the world is using sabers and better hand protection, whatever, and we want to modernize. What if we took a katana, and a two-handed katana, and we put it on a saber hilt, but we made the saber hilt so that you could use it two-handed? Genius. And no one else, but they sort of made it like a bastard sword. You could use it one-handed, or you could use it two-handed, and that's sort of like the key thing that made it work. Is essentially it's a heavy saber that you can use two-handed, and it's like sort of like groundbreaking, and I don't know why they didn't continue to use this, but they didn't. And it sort of went away. And I wish it didn't go away, but it did go away. And I don't know why it went away. Um, and I really want to get one and hold one and see how it handles. And that's probably never going to happen. They're extremely expensive, as one could guess, because it's extremely unique. Like, where else can you get a two-handed saber? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's the only one. You get a Swiss saber, which is really more of a very complex longsword from like, I think it was mostly 17th, 18th century, or some 16th. Like they're extremely uncommon. Most examples I've seen are in museums. I've never seen one for sale, ever, ever. Very rare. The sort of transitionary period sword. Uh, What else is this, like a saber with a complex guard they can wear two-handed or wield two-handed? I don't know. At least, I mean, maybe there's something that's like I'm not thinking of that I've seen, but I've like just forgot about or whatever, or not coming to mind at the moment. But nothing's coming to mind. There's probably something, and it's probably something I've seen, but at the moment I can't think of it. This is such an unusual design that, you know, makes a bit sense with like, well, what can we do differently? We could do two-handed, but it's sort of a chicken and an egg system, right? You need to have the sword to build the fighting system to use the sword, but you need to have the fighting system to use the sword to be like, oh, this sword makes sense, right? And nobody else, by the time the saber came along, nobody else was doing two-handed fighting like that. So people were using systems that didn't use that, which maybe is why it went away, because maybe they started to use more European fighting systems with the saber. I'm not sure. Like, how would you figure out what was the modern day fighting system, used? Like, kendo was still a thing, or what became kendo, right? They were still being trained in two-handed swords. But were they also in the military be training one-handed swords? Does it have to be some sort of military like training manuals or documentation, or like accounts of people? And my Japanese not good enough to figure that out. Alright, so search these buildings. I haven't searched these two. No, I searched this one. I didn't search, like, last episode. I don't know if I searched that one. I don't think I searched this one. Yeah. Hey! Babada boobada. You're dead. Alrighty. Wait, no, I need to unlock stuff. What is there to unlock? This. And these. Anywho, what you often see on the Japanese, Kyugantos, so, with people like, somebody once freaked out and was like, this is ridiculous translation. But I've since actually found where the source was for this, and I believe it's actually correct. It means old saber, old sword, because it wasn't the old sword, but it eventually became the old sword model by the time it got that name. But the type, it was like the type whatever, right? And then it eventually became known as the Kyuganto, but I believe it became known as the Kyuganto not when it was first designed later, when they came out with the Shinganto they were both Guntos, right? And so they probably then differentiated them by the old version, the Kyuganto, and the new version, the Shinganto, then later the Kaiganto, which were newer than the Kyuganto, which was older at then. But they probably just called it a Gunto, or just called it the type whatever. It's not the 32. 32 was the NCO version. Fuck, I'd have to look it up. It's a type and a number, and I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'll have you. First floor. Yeah, you have some carry capacity. Let's take these. Whoops, not that. You have a sword. Don't want this. Don't want this. And it's big. It's not that valuable. I'll take his stuff. Alright. Alright. Anywho. So, Kyuganto, the old saber. So a lot of them had, really old blades in them. Like antique wakizashi or katana or whatever. Family blades where it's like that officer came from a family, that family had an old, sword in the family, and they just put that on their saber. And normally they did this with a classical Makugi pin. So you have a Makugi pin going through a part of the grip, which is very visible, and it's a great way to know if you have it. Also, the Kyugantos were not traditional Japanese style hardening. They were spring steel. I have one. It bends. I have photos of it. Do I want? I'm not gonna bother. If somebody actually comments, I'll bother to link a photo in the description or comments. But they bend back. The spring steel. They're pretty cool. They're basically identical to a European saber as far as the steel is chrome plated. The chrome plated has been etched to look like it has a Hammond. It doesn't. It's a fake Hammond, and it is definitely chrome. Very shiny, very fake Hammond. If you look at it, it looks like a Chinese fake Hammond or something, because same basic idea behind making it. If you want an antique katana, the Kyuganto is not it, usually, but sometimes, very rarely, it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to these. Grab the big ones. And then... Alright. Anywho, he's unconscious. He's still unconscious. Okay. What if, hear me out, I put him in a bed? Oh, come on. Fine. You, come up here, search. So, Chuganto's not my favorite sword from that period. I do like the Shin and Kai, I think. Are the most interesting to me because they're stainless steel. But they're hardened stainless steel, and the process for that is toxic, so nobody else ever did it. But, you know, it's the only one to ever do it. It wasn't as strong. I don't know if it's spring steel, but I do know it wasn't as strong. I do know it wasn't hardened traditionally. It wasn't, well, for that is that guy. I'm just gonna ignore him, come in here, kill everyone in the bakery. He can't range over here. I've already attacked the bakery. My system does not have anyone left. Alright. Sure. You'll do. Bread, meat, blood rum. Ooh, that's illegal. You're going to jail. Not much good stuff in the bakery. I mean, you don't expect to go to a bakery and be like, "Oh, we've hit the jackpot," you know. But it's got some stuff. Food, glorious food. Alrighty. Splint, meat, vegetables, and he's full. No, he's not. Vegetables. Uh, um, what else is interesting over there? So the army guntos, the Shin guntos. So you got 94s, 95 with the main ones. You also got like 92s and all the other weird models. Um, they have a lot of variations. Learning all those variations is quite difficult. If you want to buy one and you see one on eBay, there's a very good odds that it's a fake. I'm just gonna say this right now. Like, it's very good odds. Be careful. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of fakes. Not an insignificant number of fakes. Hello. I have come here to kill you. Dude, he's fucking punting you. Just keep slicing. Just don't even block. Just keep hitting. Like, what is he gonna do? Punt you to death? When you have a Naginata in full plate? Alright, Rasen. Plating. Red. That's this one. I don't want. Alrighty. That, that, that. This, and that. Be great. We could like do something like this. Space wise. It'd be great. Sure. Worth 300. I don't think I've done any of the locks here. No, I guess. Anywho, so there's a lot of fake guntos, Shin guntos, Q guntos, Kai guntos, like anything Japanese. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of fake everything Japanese. Because the value of them is very high because weebs. Uh, Basically, Japan does this differential hardening. They're not the only ones. You see differential hardening in some Indian stuff, but in general, the Indian stuff is a lower quality, not the highest quality. While in Japan, that's like everything it was, or at least for a long time, everything was. And then at some point, it became less popular because military stuff, you're not going to mass produce that as easily. And also, spring hardening is more durable. There's a cost associated with that, which is you're trading durability for less hard edge, like maximum hardness. So there is a cost, and the cost isn't zero, but the cost is worth it, in my opinion. For a military context, at least, because in the military context, you're dealing with lots and lots and lots of stuff issued by lots of people, and durability is a big thing you have to worry about. If something breaks, that's a problem. A lot of times you're on campaign, you can't easily replace something. Like if you're on a navy and you lose your sword, where are you getting a new one? Next friendly port. That could be literally months, without it. If that is your primary weapon, which for a long time, for officers, their primary weapon was the sword, right? Even once pistols came along, pistols were a secondary weapon because you had to reload pistols. And until really World War II, reloading a pistol, like, speed loaders exist now. Speed loaders didn't always exist, and also a lot of people didn't use them, and you still only got so many uses of the speed loader. Like, you don't have unlimited uses of a speed loader. It just makes that problem further away. It just gives you more time until that problem is actually something you have to deal with immediately. Of, hey, I have a pistol, I need to reload it. Oh wait, we're in the middle of a fucking battle. When am I gonna get the chance to reload this pistol? That's the problem, right? Put down. Put down. You two. And only you two put down. Then you put down. Ridley's almost full health. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I think I'm just gonna take him into the bar, put him in a bed. Put him in bed. I don't care. Okay. There are beds in here. We've killed everyone over here. We should be able to just come into here where High Lord Phoenix lives, kill everyone still here, and then take a bed. That guy's bulky as fuck. Dude, he took out Jobs. Took out Wing Wang. What the fuck? We need to instantly heal Wing Wang. First aid Wing Wang. Holy shit. 96. What the fuck? Pick him up. Holy fucking shit. You know what? This guy is scary as fuck. I'm also gonna kidnap him. Also, where are the Achilles? Oh, yeah, Achilles is holding someone. Beep. You pick up Wing Wang. Holy shit. Alright. That was not what I expected. So, Wing Wang is now a bit fucked up. Ridley should be fine to be put into a bed. Put in bed. Put in bed. Alrighty. Who's someone who has a bedroll? I know we found some bedrolls we stole. I never use these fucking things. Right, it's not gonna let me in here because I'm too close to the town. Alright. Well, that's annoying. We've looted so much and we still haven't looted everything. Come in here, there's some of them in here. Kill them all. Maybe we'll get lucky and this time they'll bleed to death. Well, he's fucked up. He's already dead. 164 to the stomach. Lots of green. Alright. Okay, at this point, we've looted most of it. What do we still want to get? Got some bars. We got a clothes shop. I'm thinking, let's just get the fuck out at this point. We're almost full capacity wise. People are hurt. We almost lost. We almost fucking lost Wing Wang. He is really fucked up. I'm gonna say hold, and I'm gonna come here, and you're gonna chase us and die, or not. Some of these. It's gonna take a while to get over here, so we're just gonna do this the front way. Alright. We're moving real slow. Okay. Slowest people. You need to put him down because he can walk. You need to put him down because he can walk. Is everybody. Do have the High Lord Phoenix. And we also have that other guy. Which we should what am I going to do with him? I'm kind of worried because he has such high strength. I might just capture him just because, like, take him in because he's got max strength and I'm scared. Alright, head to stack. And I'm going to leave hold on. Anyone that needs healing will be healed eventually. I don't think anyone does. Some of our really fucked up people. We're just going to leave it stacked for a while. With some food. Alright. So, you two are going slow. You five are going slow. Birmingham. Who are the... Let's see. You three... 4, 5. Alright. Yeah. Come back over here, pick up the slow boys. Looking Glass, you're one of the fastest. Tom, pick up Birmingham, who's not so fast right now. We want to get where we want to go. Pick him up. Whether this is too much carry weight or injuries or what, don't even want to bother figuring it out. Just want to move. Speed. And it's working. The slowest people are now not who they were. We're getting where we're going. Alrighty. So we're about to get our world state chains as soon as we turn them in. But I don't want to turn them in here. I want to turn them in to Queen whatever. And I just really want to rush the stack and sell some stuff and then keep running. Let's keep running. What else World War II era swords are interesting? Slightly before this, but there is so it started with Spain. Spain was like, we need some bolo bayonets because we have this Philippine place, right? And where are you guys going? I assume you're going to go put somebody. Oh, you are going to engineer. All right. You're going to go do engineering because you have steel. Alright, so you're not starved to death yet. We also have all these robots. Huh. Haven't starved to death yet. Now, I'll let you build your whatever. Engineering should be on everyone's to-do list. At the bottom. Following and talking. Here walks the warrior of warriors. They're excited because I have... you look like Doom. You killed the fool who did this, I hope. We want Infinite Wing Wang, who is not doing so good. Beep. Put him in a bed. Put in bed. Who else? Anyone else die? Okay. Uh, 'cause Anything else really fucked up? Your arm is really fucked up. Stomach is really fucked up. Your arm is also really fucked up. Alright. But how? They're freaking out because I have the High Lord Phoenix. Like, holy shit, you have the High Lord Phoenix on your shoulder. What? I put him in. And then we can go to here. Let's start with here. Alrighty, where's the guy I talked to? Here. Hello, Shek Warrior. So, he's acting like carrying anything. Sell. I'll probably sell this. I don't think I want to sell the good stuff. Sell. What else? Research can all go. Alright. Control C, very heavy. Alright. Ridley is being carried because he's unconscious for some reason. Oh wait, no, he's no longer unconscious. Good. Alright. He's being carried because he's heavy, which makes sense. Hammett, put him down. Alrighty. Next, we can come over here. Sell. And I'll get rid of these two. You are out of training range. Wait a bit. How about now? Nope. Sell those. Out of training range. Out of training range. Bombing him was one of the slow boys, probably because he has all that stuff. Alrighty. You are low on money. What can I sell? Not gonna be. Yes. Alright. Hammett. So, what I would really like to do is finish all this. Shopkeeper cannot afford. Okay. Advanced blueprints. Odd. When did you get so poor? Whatever. Let's see, what else interesting from that period? So, Spain copied the bolo from the Philippines, which was their colony, and they made it into a bolo bayonet and then later a bolo sword. And it's sort of like the idea is we want a machete type thing that also can be used to stab, that also can be used to cut, that can also be a bayonet, but also a fighting knife. So, a lot of things you want it to do. And as a general infantry fighting knife, it also needs to be able to like do all this other knife duties, so that you don't need to have a second knife, right? And so it has to be able to like do all this general knife stuff that you use a knife for, as well as be a machete, as well as XYZ, right? So, whole lot of things you need to be able to do with it. And it's sort of like everything's trade-offs. I keep saying that. So lots of people struggle to make this work because they generally like they try to do too many things and they try to stay below a certain weight and then whatever. And the best ones I've seen were quite long. And at some point they're just like, you know what? We have things we needed to do, and to do that needs to be certain lengths. It's fine. And they were quite long to be a good machete, and you need a certain amount of length to be a good machete, and they realized that. So the best ones have some lengths to them. The best ones have a fairly pointy tip, like a traditional bolo, and the bolo is sort of what we call them. There's a lot of different names for different types of bolo, and everyone else was just like, can't be bothered, too much stuff to learn. We're just gonna call it a bolo. Like, for real, like nobody else wanted to fucker with that. We're just like, it's a bolo. It's fine. We're just gonna call it a bolo. So if you're Filipino and you're being like, it's not called a bolo, well, we call it a bolo. Sorry, there's too many different things, and it's been long enough that like it's just the bolo now. It's sort of like the ninjato. Well, there was never a ninjato. It was not real. It's an imaginary, made-up thing. But you know what? Everyone calls it a ninjato. It's a ninjato now. Like, that's its proper name. Is it a proper real sword? No. But it's a ninjato. It's That's what a ninjato is. Not a proper real sword anymore. Or at least not a like historical sword. It's real in that it exists. It's not real in that it's not uh, well, it's not really a sword. I've never seen a ninjato that you could actually use to cut with that wasn't like stainless steel or some you know mild garbage, unhardened, whatever. Like I've never seen an actual ninjato that tried to be a good sword. Maybe they exist. I've never seen it. Sell that. It's pretty garbage. Standard grade is pretty garbage and big. Right, I'm technically carrying illegal material, but finding it is somewhat difficult because I have so many people. Like, it makes a lot more sense how stuff gets smuggled in when you carry in all this garbage, and you're like, is somebody gonna search through all of this garbage to see if I have something illegal every time I enter or leave a city? No. No, that's not going to happen. Alright, what else? That's standard. Oh, nope, out of money. Alright, and that's this whole fucking town. Out of money. So, what do we do? We should have... Not good. So, you guys come over here. Game, autosave. Alright. You come over here. You guys come over here. And then inventory. Alright. What do we want to keep? Probably some random iron. Probably somewhere. I need to take a drink. I think I have some random iron somewhere. I might have used it all up already. I think anyone who had some would have used it up already on those buildings. So it has to be in the pack animals. Throw that in. Alright. So, slightly more hard armor. Alright. What do we have that's not garbage? Slightly related. What do we have that's not garbage that I actually want to keep? Because that's two different questions. Like, this isn't garbage. This is a high grade, it's a helmet, it's medium armor, but it doesn't do as good a job as some of the other options I have. I'm probably not going to keep that. Something I'm on the fence about is these chain shirts. Now that I have so much stuff, maybe it's time for them to go away. Maybe. Not definitely. Because if I have actual chainmail, maybe it's time. High grade. And I'm not going to bother putting all the stolen whatever in here this time before selling it. It's just too much work. Not going to. If I get less money, I get less money. Only putting stuff in that I potentially might keep and use. Oh, right. I need more sandals. Have I been putting sandals in here? I know I picked up some sandals. Not certain. Yes. Alright, back to food. Alright, nope. Nope. Sandals. There you are. I knew I had more. Alright. I do want to save that backpack. Alright, so pack animal time. I think this can all go away. Be sold. So. Put some of the stolen stuff in here. So we have some chainmail. We have a lot of chain shirts. I'm going to forget the chain shirts for a second. Let's put the mail in here. Alright, dress the mail. And that one masterwork. And the helmet. Pants. And we don't even have enough room. So we're gonna have to have like, what I'm thinking is, this is armor swords only. So I got one master working, all the rest of high grade chainmail. And I'll keep 2 certs. I think the rest of them should get sold somewhere. Doesn't really matter where. Fine, I'll do that. Yeah. And that's all of it. Okay. Then, weapons. Any weapon we want to keep. Probably just one. Just the one. You. And that would probably go to, Griffin. Replace it as Walker. And somebody else has a cross. Yes, you. So you had a 1, now you're going to have a 3. Anyone else we want to upgrade? So this is a hacker class. So I think somebody has a... Yeah, that is also a hacker class. So comparing them, this is just flat out better. You got the armor penetration. This gives a defense bonus. This gives a defense negative. Indoor penalty, but it's the worst one. This gives you a ton of robot damage, right? And same negative to animals. The only difference is this gives you a 10% negative to humans. This doesn't. But with all the other stuff, plus more damage, right? This is just better. So you use this. I'll leave this here. That's not amazing. Any of this I want to leave here. Yeah. I'll keep that. But a lot of these I'll just leave here. All, I think. I think I'll make... Yeah. I think that's good. And I don't think anyone else has anything I want to save. Quickly scroll through. Not even gonna mouse over everything. Just looking at it by like color. This is not great. If it was better, it'd be a different color. Yeah. Alright. So there's nothing I want to save weapon wise. Who has a lot of space? You. You carrying someone? Yes, you're carrying Abget. Put down. Abget. Alright. Install an update. You're getting carried. I'm going to put you down. Because you're no longer heavy, I hope. You're getting carried. Down. Down. Down and promise number down. Alright. Pick up. Trade. Sylvian. I can take some of your junk. Trade. Sylvian. That one. Trade. Sylvian. Annoying. Autosave screwing up my placement of things. That one and pulse. Alright. Boop. So jobs is good. How's tar? Alright, and then trade you with you. Jobs. Trade you. No, you. Exactly. How are these people doing? Much better. You know what? Let's grab everyone. Keep running. Time to go. Run here. Let's go. Also, speaking of, Beep is already loved as the hero. How about Roboboop? Roboboop, you will carry our newest captain, prisoner. Yes. Put down the Phoenix. Pick up the Phoenix. Oh look, I'm now wanted by the Holy Nation. They totally exist still, right? Alright. Now we move quickly, we sell over all of our stuff. We get rid of the High Lord Phoenix. Although, could skip one of those steps. If you want to chase, you can chase. Chase us to the walls, get taken out by us and or the guards. Fine by me. They're like, holy shit, is that High Lord Phoenix on your shoulder? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Actually, you might have something I like. I wouldn't bet on it, but maybe. Standard. Okay, you don't have anything I want. That's shame, bloody shame, but that's life. Can't always get what you want. And I can't sing. At all. I am horrible at singing. See? Can't always get what you want. Irony. Anyway. I'm dying right now. It is very, very, very hot. Oh, and you are out of money. That's okay. A bar. Yay, we're saved. Alcohol. Hello, traveler. Well, see, they call me kin now. We have completely, gone from, hey, maybe we should be racist to these weird foreigner people to not racist at all. 10 out of 10. Uh, and I don't know, impressed is the right word, but like progress. You can see real visible progress in the Czech and how they treat outsiders from based off you, the player, ability to influence their view of outsiders by giving them a good outsider. They only really needed one. And all of a sudden, hey, maybe outsiders aren't so bad after all. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't have high opinions of the Czech because of racism, right? But what is the context here? What humans do they know that they don't, want to kill? You know what I mean? Well, it's like, what experience do they have with humans who aren't going to enslave or kill them? You know? What experience do they have with bug people who aren't hostile? Well, the Western Hive. And what else? Southern Hive, hostile. The Dead Hive, hostile. So 1 out of 3 hives isn't hostile, right? And what human groups? Like, there's anti-slavers, but they're sort of far away. They don't really have much of a footprint over here. There's some of the other resistance groups against the Empire, or resistance groups against the Holy Nation, but they're not really in this area of the map. They don't really interact a lot with these people. There's not a whole lot of interaction. And they do, like, some of the people they interact with the most are things like bandits, like the Dust Bandits, who's not completely human, but they're mostly human, right? They have interactions with things like the Shinobi Thieves Guilds, with do drug running, which, technically is illegal here. Like, it's not super highly enforced, but it is illegal here. And they're not very big fans, right? So maybe they have reasons to not trust people who aren't, Czech. Maybe they're not complete, but hey, they get introduced to people who aren't Czech, who are friendly and, will help them and be good people. And all of a sudden they're like, welcome, friend. Hello, hello, brother. Like, complete 180 because you have given them reason to see, hey, you're not all bad. Some of you are, great. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. Hope that some people are worse, worth it, that are like worth being nice to other people because some of them are good. And boom, complete 180. Hello, fellow traveler. Whoops. Yes. Yeah, I'll sell that, and that, and that. You can buy some of these. Not completely out of money. It's low. Definitely that. Alright. Now you're basically completely out of money. Alright. But that has been my rant of the day. Shrek aren't that racist after all. They just needed to know that somebody... I mean, they're racist. But they're not... Like, they've had bad experiences, and they just needed to have good experiences to convince them that racism is bad. Which isn't like it's okay that they were doing that in the first place, but like it's context, right? Like if you are an African tribesman and all you know of white people is they sew up and kidnap your people and sell them into slavery and you never see them again, you're not going to have a very good opinion of white people if all you've ever known is people who look like you and these strangers who don't look like you and they're hostile, right? You're going to see them and immediately think, well, from past experiences, hey, they're here to kidnap people and sell them into slavery. And maybe not all people are like that, but you wouldn't know because you had no experience with other people. They just needed more experiences with other people. Alright. Yeah. What? Do we have a standard? I do have a standard. Any shitty meds I want to get rid of. Yes. At some point, when I have a minute, alright. I'm going to her. I'm going to her. That's a High Lord Phoenix? Okay, good backpack. Very, very good news. Alright. System info. Congratulations. Audit, green. Okay. Sell. Right. Anywho, I like friends swords. I have a lot of friends swords. I have a lot of friends clone swords or friends export swords. World War One and World War Two, friends is kind of disappointing. Um, they could have been more disappointing sword wise. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. Like the 1882, I don't really like it that much. For infantry, the 1896/21 for cavalry, I do think it's kind of cool for some versions of it. I like the brass versions of it. I like the ones that have like the Medusa head. Uh, under the guard, there's like where the normally the quillion is, but instead of a quillion, they have this like raised circular bit that works like a quillion, like the rear quillion. Um, they have like a Medusa head under it, and it's kind of cool. And they have like a design I like. It's a lot of people don't like that style of sword where they go from saber to straight sword that is really good at thrusting, but really not good at anything else. It's essentially like a giant pick. And some people really like the more classical style of saber and cut and thrust and don't like this change to we are going to stab the person, they are going to bleed to death. I hope. And we do not need to cut. We just charge in, stab, the end. Right? And then keep moving and then stab again if we need to. That change means it's a lot less useful on the ground because it's a very long sword. If somebody is very close to you, you cannot get the point. Like, you cannot move your arm back far enough while still holding on to the grip and stab the person. You have to, like, hold it by not the grip to actually stab a person, which is kind of ridiculous. It's not a flaw in the design so much as just part of the design. It is meant to be used on horseback. It is meant to only be used on horseback. And it's meant to only be used to thrust. And some people look at that and say, I don't like this. This is too highly specialized at this one task and it can't do anything else. If you want to use it on the ground, it fucking sucks. It's horrible. It's garbage. You do not want to use it on the ground. It's too long to be used as a thrusting sword. You could say, oh, well, it's like a rapier. Well, here's the thing. With rapier fights, your opponent always also has a rapier. So you have about the same, like, it's a dedicated duelist weapon, right? And sometimes, like, there are historical examples, like there's a king of Poland who used one in the battlefield, whatever. That is edge case. That isn't the normal use. That is some weirdos were like, I really like my rapier. I know how to use my rapier. I'm going to use my rapier on the battlefield. Fine. You're a weirdo. Like, you're not the normal, use case. No offense, weirdo. you're an edge case. We need to acknowledge that and say, this is not normal. This is not what normally happens. This is not the average, whatever. This is this weird edge case, and treat it as a weird edge case, and not try to be like, yeah, this is the battlefield weapon. So, rapier, right? You have a rapier. It's really long. They're generally very good at thrusting. Then not all of them can't cut. Some of them can cut. They're generally not great at cutting. They might be okay at cutting. None of them, very few I've seen were amazing at cutting. I say few. None I have seen are amazing at cutting. It's just not a thing that happens. I just don't see them. They don't exist, as far as I know. Maybe someone somewhere had one. There are some Spanish examples with they're essentially like a 30-something inch arming sword or like a long sword blade put onto a rapier style hilt or a bilbo style hilt, which is more of a cup hilt, right? Cup hilt rapier, whatever. Those are not rapiers. Those are more, so you got bilbos and you got side swords. So the sword of swords, they're cut yeah, that is the phoenix. They're cut and thrust swords. They have a different military use. They're shorter because they're broader, and that means they have more weight because you make it like 2-3 times wider. That's going to add weight to the sword. So if you keep it at 40 something, 40, 42, 44 inches, it's not going to work very well. It's going to be too heavy. So in order to deal with that problem, they made them shorter. 30, 20, sometimes 28, sometimes 30, 32, 34, around there, right? Not as long. And that is not the same as a rapier. It doesn't handle the same as a rapier. It doesn't function the same as a rapier. They have a different name. They're used by a different group of people. They're not used as a dedicated duelist weapon. That's just not a rapier. Okay? Okay. Not a rapier. It's similar to a rapier. It's not a rapier. Alright. What do we have over here? One sec. We got that backpack. I think it's just that backpack and maybe some meds we want to get rid of at some point. Yeah. Everything's in here. Alright, so sure for that one. We'll keep the advanced books because they're a bit hard to come by. And any big armors or big swords can go by. Alright. So, not a rapier. those are very good at cutting. Those are because they're, basically an arming sword. You got pretty broad blade. It's got a good edge. It's fairly heavy. It's a one-handed sword, so not a two-handed sword, but it is a fairly. They're fairly heavy. Like, the one I have is like one of it feels like I'm swinging a piece of rebar around. It is very heavy. It is not comfortable in my hand at all. I'm not the biggest or the strongest or whatever, so maybe that's part of it. It feels a lot better with gloves on. It feels like it's really intended to be worn with gloves on. Uh, to me, but that's just my 2 cents. I have a later period one of the latest period ones, which is a military example used by the Halberdier Royal Guards. So the kings and queens and whatever's personal guards, right? And the king of Spain, the queen of Spain, their kids, whatever. If you were in the royal family, you'd have a Halberdier Royal Guard. They'd be armed with a halberd, right? They'd be armed with the sword, and they'd often, depending on the period, be armed with a gun as well. What gun that is changes on the period. The halberd and the sword didn't really change much. The halberd was partially there, so you could be like, "Hey, I got a fucking halberd," and you walk up. They put the halberd in front of you to stop you. Like, it is an area control weapon. It is there to control an area. Where is fucking where's the stone? Stone lady, where did you go? You should be here. Are you asleep? And 5 invincible. 5 invincible. Seto. Is that the Phoenix? Yes. Bayron. Ah. Talk. Amusing, yada yada yada. Invincible. Robo boop. Put in. Talk to. Oh, they're all asleep. That's annoying. I'm gonna have to wait for them to wake up to talk to them and get the daughter. I'll come back. I'm guessing the event isn't firing because they're asleep. In the meantime, I have stuff to sell. This place is closed, and the general shop is closed, but the ninja shop is open because the ninja shop is always open. Yeah. And it did not fire a 49, not. Alright, where is... Yes, you. Hello. Do I want the hive or sure? I do. Do you have another one of you somewhere? Sometimes they have two, but it doesn't appear they have two today. Alright. So, we have passed 1 million. We have turned in the Phoenix, Flying Bull, High Inquisitor Seta, High Inquisitor Valenta, basically all the High Inquisitors, and the Phoenix. The Holy Nation's dead. We need to talk to Byron. Oh, not Byron. Byron, or is it Seta? I think it's Seta once he wakes up. But we can't do it this moment because he's asleep. Can I train? I'm a dummy. It will let me. And this is a level 15 because we are allies. Anyone have below 15 melee? I don't think anyone does. Could do this while we wait. Please wake up. I do not want to wait a long time. Alright. You're supposed to have a line that fires. Will you tell your daughter to join me? I don't know why it's not firing. Do I have to talk to Byron first? And he tells me to go talk to you? Maybe. Wake up! Byron, I don't know. You going back to bed? You are going back to bed, okay. Because you got up too early. I'll wake up and go back to bed, why not? Right. When do you motherfuckers getting up? Come on. Don't make me wait all day. You know what? The stores are open. I will sell stuff while I wait for you. We've got a weapon shop, we got this general shop, we got these two shops. Heyo. Esata. Alrighty. Let's see. Sell that. All the big stuff. Right now I'm focusing on size. And he's out of money. Alright. Who is the fastest? Apparently today is Hammett. Alright. This can go to fix up the meds in a minute while keeping this, while keeping all of this stuff. You know what, we can sell 2 of these. We have more than enough backpacks. And any meds that are even mostly used up, I gotta get rid of. And trade from other meds that aren't mostly used up. We have too much meds. I wonder if he woke up yet. Wonder if they've all woken up. Got so much meds. This is crazy. Alright, we've gone through everyone. We sold all the stuff. We want to come to here and here to see if they have anything we want to buy, particularly armor, or we want to buy, hello, long bolts for him. If they have any, they don't have any. I cry. Alright, and then we want to buy here. We can go to the armor shop. Maybe they have something there. The weapon shop here is garbage, but the armor shop has some decent stuff sometimes. I wouldn't say reliably, but sometimes. One high-grade hood. Okay, I'll take it. Not the best, but not the worst. Alright. 9 a.m. He's still fucking in bed. And nobody... You're awake and you won't talk to me. Alright, screw it. Screw it. We've come all this way. We've defeated the Holy Lord. Uh, we've defeated the Holy Lord. We've done our duty. Wait, why is that door opening? Where did we put him? We put him here. This is our victory. This is our victory. This is our victory. We have defeated the Holy Nation. There is no more Holy Nation. They're done. And soon we will this is now ruled by these guys. This hasn't updated yet. And soon we will take over more territory and take out the Empire, take out more people and all this. But for now, I think that's good. This has been episode 45 of Kenshi. Kind of crazy. It's like months and a half. Have another episode tomorrow, probably. To be continued. Bye.